Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 2. Um, so in this episode, it's a continuation from last week where we saw Justin and Alexis get married. In this episode, we actually have two weddings take place. And I have to say, initially when we saw the pairings, I was a bit concerned that the experts might have matched people, sort of just pick random names and as because everybody else was saying so on Twitter. But I think seeing the couples and seeing their initial chemistry, I seem to understand, or I'm starting to get a picture of why people were matched. So we'll just go through the couples and see how we go. Justin is very excited about Alexis. He says, he's going to fall in love with her. And Alexis, on her part, is very excited at the fact that Justin is actually tall because she did ask for someone who's above 6 feet, and Justin is above 6 feet. So she's happy with that. Um, I'm not sure because Justin's brother is there with his mother. We all know Justin's brother was very concerned about the process and was worried because he didn't think this was a good idea for his brother to go through the process, because I think after 14 seasons everybody sort of got a gist of the show, and it's normal for families to be concerned because some people have been lucky and have met the perfect match, whereas some people have met a toxic person who has just continued to spiral and taken them down the rabbit hole. So we'll see with Justin and Alexis. We'll see how that goes. I really don't know. I'm still on the fence with them. I don't want to say I see them making it or they're not going to make it. I don't know. We'll see how that relationship progresses. And then from there, we get to see Stasia and Nate. And as I said in my previous review, unfortunately for Nate, he made the ultimate mistake, which I think participants need to be cautious of, because Married at First Sight will constantly replay your mistake forever. As I said last week, they're still replaying Shanice giving Jeffrey a lap dance, and it's been at least 8 seasons, if not more, since they got married. And so they did replay, Justin at the bachelorette bachelor party, and how he told one of the strippers to kneel and sort of gave her whipped cream. And I am not sure how Stasia is going to feel about that. I think that's something that's really going to be upsetting for her, and hopefully they'll be able to work through that and sort of focus on their marriage on their own parts. We didn't really get the backstory of Nate. They did say he went through a lot. He went through a fork in the road where he could have gone either way, but was able to sort of continue to progress and become the man that and evolve and become the man that he is, according to his friends. Stasia, obviously, they're always going to bring out the fact that she's a self-made person. She works very hard for everything she has, and so we'll see how long they'll play that card for. I'm going to say I loved, because with Married at First Sight, I always wait for people's initial reactions when they first see their spouse, and I've always said it. I think I said it last time that I loved how, for example, like Keith behaved when he saw Christina, or how Brianna and Vincent, how Vincent responded. Because you can tell from the initial reaction that, oh, this person likes their partner or they're attracted to their partner. And I think though Stasia was crying a lot, she was very teary. I think it's understandable that she would be anxious, and she's been through a lot given the fact that she's emancipated herself as a teenager and has gone through the process of building a career for herself, and is now sort of worried about finding a partner. And she says this is something that she wanted to do but wasn't sure it would ever happen for her. So Nate, on his part, did say he was ready for marriage. His father was there. He did seem to have a lot of his friends there as well. And I really loved their initial reaction. You could tell that immediately Nate was attracted to his partner. But as we've seen that through the seasons, initial attraction is not a guarantee that the relationship is going to work. So they did seem to really like each other at first sight. They liked each other's vows. They, although Nate went on about about Stasia's physique a bit much, I think that was a bit much anyway. But you could tell that there is room for progress. And I think her family were impressed by the man that Nate is. And the fact that Nate was impressed that, she's someone who's self-made, who's worked very hard to get to where she is. And also, he was able to impress her with the fact that, he's also trying to build, generational wealth on his part. So, um, I think there is a possibility they'll work. I think there is a possibility they'll work. And I think if they can get, once the show airs, if they can get over the hurdle of his behavior at at the bachelor party, if that's the worst, then they should be fine, unless he does something else as the season progresses. But I think initially their first reactions were amazing, and we'll see how they go. And then Miguel and Lindy for me, I think I wasn't too sure about them. I wasn't too sure about them really, because I didn't quite understand why they were matched. But I think it's the fact that has led a very sheltered life, and she's looking for someone to sort of help her come out of her shell. And I think because of the way that Miguel is, in that he's a very gentle soul, it comes across, and he says he's a hopeless romantic, and he's very caring, and even his friends did say that. And I think this is why the experts sort of matched him with Lindy, because they thought he would have the sort of the gentleness and the patience and the compassion to deal or help her maneuver as she comes out of her shell. So I definitely say I loved their first response when they saw each other. They gave each other a hug, which was sweet. That's the first time I think I've seen that. And also, they were both impressed that they're both very educated people. Miguel seems very willing to sort of to compromise, because Lindy was sort of saying that she likes to travel and whatever, and Miguel said, as long as there's Wi-Fi, I'm game to go anywhere. Whereas I think with Rachel and I've forgotten his name, Jose, they had a problem because Jose didn't like to travel, and I think a lot of people initially commented about this on Twitter as soon as the couples were released for the season, and yet Miguel is saying, wherever you want to go, I'm game. As long as we have Wi-Fi. And also, he did go on about his Dungeons and Dragons, and I hope she accommodates that and she understands that this is something that he likes, and that's not just all of him. And she comes across as very patient and very compassionate and very empathetic. So hopefully they will make it. I loved their reception. They seemed to get each other once they got over the hurdle of Dungeons and Dragons. And I think if she can get over that, he's not a bad looking guy. They seemed to really like each other. I think they're this season's version of Jessica and Austin, in my opinion. I think they're this season's version of Jessica and Austin. And I can see them making it. I can see a future for them. And I wish them all the best. And then Ben and, oh God, I forgot his partner. Sorry, I had to think there for a moment. Ben and Morgan. I think Ben comes across as a very gentle guy. He loves his mother. Maybe a bit too much. But I think if you can find someone who loves his mother or loves his sister, then that's a great guy. It's just how is Morgan going to fit into that? And I think the only thing that might be a bit of a challenge for Ben might be Morgan is a bit too out there. She's not Lindsay out there, but she's a bit out there. So we did see them go shopping for their wedding attire. She shopped for her gown, he shopped for his suit, and I think they both seem happy. Ben is someone who's worked hard to be where he is. She seems to be someone who's working very hard to get to where she is. And I think her mother and her family member were talking about the fact that they're concerned that he might not understand her because she likes to play games, she likes to play kickboxing. And I think Ben was saying that as long as someone is not lazy, then he's fine with it. So I don't think he should have a problem, because she still does go to work, she still does work out, which are things that they both have in common. And the only red flag for me is the fact that I think because of her history and her failed relationships, there might be an issue in the sense that Dr. Pepper did tell Morgan that unfortunately Ben has contracted COVID, which you can never be too careful. Everybody tries to be careful, but there's nothing to, when COVID comes, there's nothing you can do about it. But she was concerned. Morgan was concerned about it because she thought I think because of her history, she was worried that he might be using that as an excuse because it's getting cold feet, and it's really sad because this, I think, is one of the reasons why most relationships on Married at First Sight fail, because some people are not able to get over um, their past, and so I really hope she doesn't let that ruin what could be with Ben, and she gives him an opportunity to to grow with him, and then Christine and Mitch. Oh God, nothing really much to say about them. I think I think that's going to be the most toxic relationship this season, because I think Mitch is a bit too much, because they did go suit shopping. I know he's minimalistic and stuff, but he always looks tarty, for lack of a better word. He always looks unkept. He turned up on his bike, but the way he was dressed with his beanie, he likes his beanie a lot, and he had these bandages on his head where he had hit his. And you would think, as someone who's getting married, you'd be a bit more extra careful because he wants to create a very good first impression. So Christine, on her part, didn't tell her dad that was the big thing. So she didn't tell her dad she was getting married, and she was planning on telling him when she got married, on the day that she was getting married. She seemed to find her gown. There was no issue with her. And Mitch, on his part, found his suit. He was fine. But he had a bridezilla moment whereby he freaked out about his beard. He freaked out about his bow tie. And it's just a bit much. It's just a bit much. I don't think Christine will take that, and I think this is where they're going to spiral and end up breaking up, because I don't think Christine will have patience for things like that if he's going to try that in their relationship. And maybe she is the person that he needs, someone who will tell him, no, that's it. And so, I don't know. We did see Christine's dad arrive. They did sit down and start to have a conversation about her getting married. And obviously, they did go on and on and on about the fact that she's previously been engaged and was about to get married, so this is why she's wanted to get married, because the last time it failed, and she's worried about going on dating apps and stuff, because you never know, you're still meeting strangers who have not been researched, so there's always room that that person might not be what they say they are. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes, really. We'll wait for the wedding is next week, so we'll see how that goes. But at the moment, I think I'm having good vibes from Stasia and Nate, and also from Miguel and Lindy. The other couples, Ben and Morgan, I really wanted to like them because I really like Ben, but I'm not too sure about Morgan. And then with Justin and Alexis, I'm still on the fence. Christine and Mitch, after his behavior now, I can foresee them going down Divorceville, even though Christine said she'll work hard to make her relationship succeed. I think it's going to be a Lindsay and Mark. It might not be as toxic, but it's going to go down that route, really. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.